and Derek holding it down. What is up, everybody? I'm SonnyLasVegas. Every Thursday, I try to bring on either myself, along with my awesomeness co-host, Jimmy, and we bring on a guest. I try to do my best to bring on guests that
Look at me. See, I was telling you that I didn't have a link with
that I follow and know some of their history, know about them. I enjoy them more than anything. I think that's one of the biggest things about the content that I share is that I enjoy myself as well as others. And I hope you could enjoy Luis. He does quite a bit of things. If you haven't looked at the thumbnail, he does that and a lot more. And it's kind of some stuff I want to ask about today. And he could introduce himself, and then Jimmy will introduce himself to you, my friends.
Yeah, guys, I'm Cali Reseller Luis. If no one knows who I am, I've been reselling since I was 8 years old. I started reselling because my dad was a reseller. He used to do the flea markets on the weekends and the swap meets. So that's where I kind of got the whole, motivation to be a reseller. And kind of fast forward, I did it through my childhood, through middle school, through high school, and then as an adult as well. Continued doing it. I was doing it part time I want to say about 8, 9 years ago. I had a regular job and then I got laid off from my job and decided I had a conversation with my wife about it. She's all, well, you're doing pretty good part time. Why don't you just jump into it full time? Like that, it'll save us, paying childcare and all the other expenses with the kids. So I decided that I took that leap forward and I never looked back. So definitely I have my hands on a lot of stuff. So
yeah, for sure.
Jimmy,
What's up?
intro.
Let me introduce myself.
Introduce thyself.
My name is Jimmy. Old School Flips is my YouTube channel, Instagram, and TikTok. I now have a podcast on another channel called the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. And of course, I'm here every Thursday with Sonny. We full-time reseller mainly on eBay. I focus mainly on that. I'm nothing like Luis, man. I'm not putting in that kind of work, that's for sure. Props to him. And yeah, that's 3 years now, full time.
nice.
Noise. Speaking of podcasts, you can share that link, Jimmy, if Ken's not in here inside the chat throughout however long we talk. But you, Luis, you do have a podcast that you started, and
Yep.
do you have a set schedule when you do it, or is it when you have free time and you're like, let me
Yeah,
record
I
myself?
mean, to answer what you're saying, I was trying to do them every week, but I've been so busy with a lot of stuff, so I've been trying to release them as much as I can because I was getting a lot of messages on my Instagram about people asking me for different stuff, different things about eBay or Mercari and then sometimes it's hard when you have 20, 30 messages a day and then it just keeps going and going.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, and then Mo actually told me, hey, why don't you try doing a podcast and talk about all the stuff that people are asking? So like that, instead of having to answer one person at a time, you could just tell them, hey, you know what? Check the podcast out. I have different episodes on different scenarios and different things that happen. And yeah, and then actually started working out better like that for me. So people could go and listen to it whenever they got free time or they're at the gym or they're out doing something and they just want to hear something. So
Yeah, that's exactly how I started listening to it when I saw you on Twitter. And that's another thing. Twitter is like any platform, like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. These are free apps, and I look at it as free advertisement.
Yep.
And if you have a few times to look at people's drama and things like that, like you could take care of yourself too. Put some links out there, have it a little bit different than what another platform is, if you want. But I know on Twitter I saw the podcast and I retweeted it and I was like, let me check this out myself. So when I was going to the gym, I haven't gone in about 2 days, but when I was cooling down after like my workout's done, I was like, I want to hear something, but I don't necessarily want to hear music that
yeah,
hypes me up because I'm already done with my workout. I just want to listen to something beneficial. And I'm a reseller, so I started listening to it, and then it's
awesome.
become a habit of listening to it, like when I'm changing on my workouts and have time on the road going home or to and from when I'm by myself because my wife doesn't like reselling stuff. But I enjoy them, and it's pretty cool to have that. And then
Awesome.
Jimmy has his. He just started one with Ken too,
Yeah.
which is a clickbait
Yeah. Don't
podcast.
come to our podcast to learn anything. You're not gonna learn it. You're not gonna learn a damn thing. You might laugh you might laugh, but you're definitely not gonna learn anything. You're gonna learn that me and Ken are a couple knuckleheads that pick on each other is what you're gonna find out.
Hey, it sounds like a blast though. Sounds like you guys have a blast.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a good time.
They enjoyed themselves. Yeah, that's for sure. What's up, everybody in the chat? I see Jeremy. I see 5280 Fines. I always forget the name. I know it's a new one
Len,
for me
that's my
here.
buddy Len.
That's right. Adam. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, we got some.
There's Ken. Yeah, Ken could drop that link. He was doing that last time. No problem doing that, sharing your stuff in there.
Yeah.
We got
What's
Mikey
up,
Bags
man?
of Money, my Las
What's
Vegas
up, Mike?
brethren right there.
Hey,
So,
Mikey.
Super Court, I said hello. Really good channel. Mikey's a really good person. He just had a video with Carrie, who is not really a YouTuber, but she is a reseller,
Mhm.
and she is very knowledgeable. She is one of the besties of Danny the Niche Lady, and I love seeing her in person. Like I get along with her husband. I'm glad he gets along with me. He easily opens up to me and talks about stuff. Although he's seems like one of those guys that Jimmy and Luis may look like. If you walk by them, they're like, "Oh, these guys are like these old school like OGs. Don't walk to them." And
I
then
know.
you say hello, and they're like, "What's up, buddy?" And they want to give you a hug, and you're like, "Oh, these guys are softies," you know.
Yeah.
But Carrie is super knowledgeable, and they had a video together. You guys should check that out. She was with Mikey Bags of Money, which is funny because, like I said, she's like, I don't want to do YouTube, and I don't want to do all that, but she'll come through with you and be part of the video. Really cool person. I like Carrie.
That's
Lovely
awesome.
person. Got Kristen in the house, a real squirrel.
What's up, Kristen?
Hey, Kristen, how you doing?
Miss Lachey, what's going on, Miss Lachey? She messaged me last time from our last live saying that she was in the background lurking while she was handling business, and that's not a problem. Thank you for even being in the background. It helps with the view times, which I'm around 560 hours away from being monetized. So
Nice.
that's my next milestone. And with putting in work, because this is really all I do: reselling. I do graphic designs on the
Oh, I should
side.
have this playing. Hold on, let me get this.
I have a little bit of stuff. I got to catch up to with graphic designs,
Yeah.
and I'm not doing as much as Luis. Although there's other things we don't mention that we're doing on top of that. But Luis, how do you manage your time to do everything that you're doing and then still make family your numero uno?
Well, man, it's just about being organized, getting
That's my fault right there.
getting to a schedule. A lot of resellers always tell me,
That's where I fell. Then that's
they ask me like, Luis, how do you get so much done in your day? It's like there's only a certain amount of hours per day, but you got to remember, you got to treat your reselling as a business. You're the boss, so you're the only one that's going to have to get up and take care of business. So my day begins at 5 a.m. every day. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. I go to bed at midnight every night, so I'm getting probably about 5 hours of sleep a night. Just to kind of give you an idea what my schedule is on a daily basis to get stuff done, pack, take pictures, list, go source, do private picks. I mean, you gotta make sure you have time and take the kids to school, come back, go to the post office, and do what go about my day, what I have to do, what I have planned for the day. So yeah, a lot of people say that's just crazy, but that's just the way
getting up that early is a problem at first. And we're talking about keto dieting for a second before we went live, and it's kind of like if you want to you want to talk about your keto. I don't know if you brought that up in other things.
No, I didn't.
That's new to me that you brought it up.
Yeah, no, actually, I was telling Sonny that I started doing keto about 3 weeks ago, and I just got myself on the scale and I lost 23 pounds. So, I'm just telling Sonny, it's like it was different the first couple of days, but after that, I'm just going full steam ahead with it. So.
Yeah, and with that, the practice like reselling and listing is really just figuring out yourself. And being a stay-at-home husband, no family, I have a fur baby, and I finally got my mother-in-law to leave the house. She's with her son. She'll be back soon. I love her, but it's just like sometimes you want privacy. But even with her here, I would take her to appointments, bring her back, and I just felt so crammed. I felt overwhelmed, but it wasn't her. It wasn't anybody else but myself. And so I realized, like, okay, what if I can't list in the morning because I'm going to help her out? She's family.
Yeah.
I shouldn't think that way, but sometimes you do. Some, people are human. So when I started getting over myself and looking at like, okay, well, if I can't list right now, I'll list in the afternoon. And if I start listing and I only could do so much, my wife wants me to do something, I'm going to do it and then come back and then get back to it. But as long as I have a goal of what I need to list throughout the day, it'll definitely help me out. And it comes back to, do I want to make excuses and point fingers, or do I want to do what I need to do and say, hey, I get to do this because I'm at home doing what I want. I'm not pointing fingers no more. Now I'm saying I can do stuff, not I need to do stuff. Lewis is a hustler.
I gotta say, because Chernock and Eric OBX, they're in the chat. That's another thing, man. I got every Tuesday all day on OBX Flips.
Yep.
We're co-workers on there every day, so go check that out too. I forgot about that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Eric. I apologize.
Nah, Eric's on it too, man. He's hustling, listing, and doing this whatnot auctions too. So
Yeah, and ladies and gents, if you are on Whatnot, because it is a new platform, even though some people have been on it for months, it's still new. It's a new platform that's evolving constantly, and I bring it up often because as a reseller, you do. I had the habit before where I would hear stuff, and I would make an account, but I wouldn't follow through with it. It was just like, okay, I got an account.
yep.
I don't get it yet. And then after a while, I'm hearing people like Cernock, who's on here, Tim over the years, and all these other resellers
Yep.
that I appreciate and follow and learn from. And for some reason, apps is one where I just take a step back way too long when it's like, why I'm missing out on an opportunity.
Yep.
And like people have asked me about Whatnot, if I don't know how I feel about these higher end items. And Derek said it last week. He said it in live. He said, if you know your item's worth more than $1, then don't list it at $1. List it where you feel happy for it. And if nobody buys it, then oh well, because you want to get what you want for it. And Whatnot's a different animal. And Luis, I appreciate you being a customer. You do order stuff for me. You
Yep.
help out. I do the same thing with Cernock. He left a comment. I was falling asleep last night and I was just listening to it. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I was in there in Cernox for a little bit
I was
too.
like, I'm bidding on this. Oh, I want that. And some cool t-shirts. I woke up like
Yep.
thinking after a nap today, I was like, man, I can't wait till I get those shirts. I want to rock them. Pretty cool t-shirts. But if y'all have your blue wrenches, if they are blue, I'm partially colorblind, you could drop your Whatnot links inside there. It definitely helps. You don't have to buy stuff, but it's good to just check it out, be a customer. And if you're interested in it, at least you get to know what it is like to be on the customer
Yep.
side. Because I did have some hiccups last week, right, Luis? Luis
Yeah.
was in there where people were immediately telling me, why am I getting $41 in shipping for their
Yeah.
first item and $31? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I weigh the stuff, I even measure it. And
Yeah.
even after I do the labels afterwards, I still got to remeasure it and reweigh it because Whatnot will plug in some different information on my end. I don't know if that's for anybody else. And I had one person who is a reseller, and they messaged me on Instagram saying that they're still being charged $25 for a t-shirt. So I'm glad to bring this up too about Whatnot. It's a little long-winded, but it's very valuable to know this kind of stuff. So on Whatnot's end, you can cancel an order as a reseller, and it pops up a little window saying you could do this, but they don't recommend it because they don't want that stuff happening. But I think they kind of have to change that, or customer service be better, even if it's on the weekend, because I messaged these people, even in the live chat, that they have like a little contact automated system, and it will not bring up what I needed. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to have this person be overcharged $25 for $1 hat that they bought, right? It's not worth it at all. And because I don't get that. We don't get at Whatnot resellers, we don't get money from the shipping. That's all on Whatnot. So I canceled it, and then I finally got an email after 2 days from Whatnot, a representative saying, we apologize about this. We're going to check on the buyer and see why they did this. I understand your frustration, and we're going to take care of it. And I replied back saying, whoa, I'm not the customer. I'm the reseller, and this is what's going on. So they replied back saying, we were able to fix it, and they got refunded in full, but I still gave that hat to that person. It was only $1. And I feel like sometimes that's just doing things on my end right for the customer, whether they're a reseller or not. But there's different avenues of Whatnot that's growing and getting better, and I like the app a lot.
Yeah, lots of good stuff happening with there. I was just watching John Cincinnati Pickers break. I love watching breaks. I've never bid on one, but I just love watching when they break open those packs. And I was watching that right before we got on.
The breaks are awesome.
So can you explain what a break is? Because I know you just break a package open, and then I hear people saying that you want to look for certain cards, but me not knowing anything about sports and cards, does it take time to explain, like, say, basketball?
So what it is he'll tell what sport it is, and he'll have a bunch of boxes that aren't open yet. And then you're basically bidding. Like today, he let you pick the team. Usually they don't let you pick. Like usually it's a random draw of the team, but he lets you pick the team. So basically, you bid and then you pick your team. So like everybody wanted the Patriots because they got the best rookie card in there. And so the first
Which
bid went up
is
to like 70 something dollars. Mac Jones.
okay.
And so it went up to like 70 something dollars for that first bid. And then the guy picked the Patriots, and then when he opens up all those boxes, he gets all the Patriots cards from those boxes.
Yep.
So and then they do all the teams in whatever sport it is. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun for me. It's how I mean because I love sports and I used to be a card collector, so I just have a blast and I love seeing these people get. You know when he pulls a fire card, like he gets all excited and the chat just goes crazy.
That's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, it's fun.
They're fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, John's killing it on their Cincinnati picker. I watched them a week or two ago. It was like probably 30 minutes to an hour straight, just nothing but giveaways.
Yep.
And then after that, he was like, "Hey guys, I just gotta hurry this giveaway up because I'm gonna start selling stuff." And you see what he's selling and how fast things sell for, which is why I like Whatnot. It's pretty fast, but you do have to know that you may take a loss on some items. But there are some items that I sell that I'm like, I'm not even thinking I'm gonna have anybody interested. And some of the stuff that I feel like that are gonna be hot and everybody interested in, nobody's interested in them. So
Yep.
it really is a learning progress. And for the most part, I do have repeat people coming back. They may not buy all the time, but I recognize the names in there. Even them not being resellers come back and just enjoying, I guess, me and what I have. And it's kind of my style is their style, but I'm learning more of what they are. I don't want to sell what I like. I want to sell what people like.
Exactly.
And Luis, with your Whatnot, is it different than what you buy for on, say, Mercari, or do you look for different items?
Sometimes it's like I've been doing like graphic shirts on Whatnot, and I have totes and totes full of shirts. And then I just started. I did actually just bought 2 bales of shirts that I'm waiting to get delivered just to bring to Whatnot. So just different stuff like those are gonna go for Whatnot. And I got different things on Macari, and like I said, I even saw on TikTok. People ask me, "How the heck do you sell on TikTok?" It's easy. You're out at the thrift stores, you see different stuff that you buy, you show it, then people DM you and ask you, "Hey, how much you want for that?" You let them know. You ask for the PayPal information. They send you your PayPal. You ship it out. You get it out, and that's another piece out the door, right? Just by you showing what you picked up at the thrift store.
Yeah. Today I had someone go to a YouTube video that's one of my YouTube videos that's like 8 months old and asked to buy a shirt. I was like, man,
Yep.
sorry, I already sold it.
That's long gone.
I get that about shoes often. Like, hey, do you still have these shoes? And they send me a screenshot, and I'm like, I did have those, but I'm looking at the date. Like, that's a while back. Like, those
Yeah.
are sold.
It's
That
just so
happens.
funny because that never happens to me. And then out of the blue, I mean, today, when we're talking about this, is the day I get that message. And they did it in the comments too. They just like said, "Hey, you selling that shirt?" I did. I did.
Yeah, like that shirt's
Ladies,
long
ladies
gone.
and gents in chat, I tried to open up I was back and forth in another window, muted my mic, but you might have the blue intro now. So if you have your Whatnot links, you could put it there because on Whatnot, if you're not new to it and going into Whatnot, your username, the way to type it in, has to be exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot have like capitalized, lowercase. It has to be exactly how it is. So that may be some confusion. I wish they would sort that out because that's something that I think makes a difference.
For sure.
I didn't know that. I don't know. I need to go on my one. I don't go on there a lot anymore. I need to go follow. I need to make sure I'm following you. I don't know if I am, Luis. I know I'm following Sonny.
Yeah, you were talking about that last time, Jimmy, saying that you're on it and then you burned out of inventory, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
So
but I
now
bought some stuff now, so I'm thinking I need. I don't know. I'm just bad when it comes to what I'm bad. Like I need to make a schedule for it.
and some of the stuff that I have is like t-shirts, caps, and I do want to look at other stuff. I am sorting or filtering out some of my toys that I have
Mhm.
for my garage and here in my office that I'm like, you know what, I'm already appreciated this long enough. I need to let go of it. And Luis, I see that you're, as of right now, that I've noticed your last two, maybe three
Mhm.
lives, you're not doing toys, caps, or t-shirts. You're doing art. It's like this metallic
Yeah,
art, and
I'm
people are
doing
buying that too.
the vintage foil prints. I actually got these at an estate sale a couple weeks ago, and the gentleman that passed away was a collector, and these were actually vintage from like the 80s to mid 90s, and they were printed in England. So, and they have that when you look at them, it has that foil look to it, kind of like the cards when you get them and you move them around. Same thing with the pictures, so they really
What what are
pop
they
out.
of? Like what kind of art? What are the pictures of? Like what?
There's different pictures. There's a picture of animals. I just sold a Queen Elizabeth one today. As a matter of fact, I had the auction this morning, and someone picked that up. They're like, "Wow, I need that." So I have a few right here I can show you really quick.
Yeah.
Show and tell. I love show and tell.
Yeah, just so you guys get an idea what I'm talking
And
about.
give you make you big head.
Yeah. See, like this one is the Great Race.
Hey, Benji.
As you can see how it has that foil.
Yeah.
When you move it around.
Yep. Yeah, you can see it. Oh, yeah, really good. Right
Yeah,
there.
the details too.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's one. Here's another one. Just the detail on these are just excellent.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll show you guys one more just so you guys can see.
That's a lot of detail.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing what people do to create art.
Yep. This is who makes them. It's a Dufex Prints.
Hold on, give me a second.
In England. That one is the Queen at Garter Ceremony in Windsor. This one I just showed you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so like I said, I came across a bunch of these, and I've been doing the auctions on these for 3 weeks now. So people are loving them.
Yeah. And the reason why I bring that up and point it out is because you could look at what you have in abundance of and just see if it goes. If it's just sitting around and you don't have it listed, this is probably the easiest place. If you're like, you know what, I just want to clear space. You don't want to donate it because it's worth the money, but it may not be worth it for you to take photos, list, description, item specifics, things like that. So there's different things for you to do. If you want to, you just have to do it. And I do recommend, like I've been saying, if you're going on Whatnot, use somebody as a referral. If you haven't, you could make an account, but that doesn't mean you are going to become a reseller automatically. You got to apply for that part. So use one of us. Use somebody that is legitimate, because it does fall back on like, okay, I got to look at Sony and be like, yeah, they're good. Or hey,
so
buddy,
not me. That's what he's saying.
I ran out of referrals. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that I ran out of referrals. My bad. No, I wouldn't do that. But you do have to be mindful if somebody asks you as well.
No,
and Cernog, you did say in the comments that I need, maybe not so much that I need to, but I want to for hats. You do need to steam them and shape them up a bit, because I have some hats that I'm like, oh man, like my first auction was some of them were like, man, but people were liking it, but if I present them better, just like things on eBay, you get that lint roller out, that fabric shaver, it does add value to it, and I do care about my items. I want people to receive them and be like, okay, this is dope.
Yeah, I just got some hats I gotta work on.
Oh, Adam, and if it's your birthday, happy birthday. If it's not your birthday, anyways.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Adam, is it a birthday?
We're just.
Hey, Adam, happy birthday.
It was the 17th. A couple days late. No, dude. Happy belated birthday.
Hey, Chris, Toys and Treasures. How you doing, man? No problem.
So with the podcast, back to that, Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sit down at home and do that, or do you end up finding like a quiet space and you're like, hey, this is a good opportunity to dump something that's on my head and record, or do you just go back to your setting of like, this is where I do my stuff?
No, I'll come in, I'll sit down on my desk here, and no one's here, so I got no noise, no kids screaming in the background, no nothing. So I just record whatever I'm going to do for that episode and just let it ride. Yep, for sure. It's been a lot of different stuff going on, so yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
You put that on YouTube too? Am I missing?
No. Right now I just have. Yeah.
That's why I'm not seeing this.
Yeah, no. I'll post, like when I do post them, I'll put it like on the on the community page.
I need to get better at that. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah,
I need to start.
I've been enjoying them for like a year now. Like I look at stuff like Business Minds, people that are actually giving good advice, and not so much of I did this, I did that. They're actually like their own experiences, or they're bringing on people and they have that mature talk of, yeah, you're saying that, but this is what I encountered. It's not so much of just everything's good that they're saying. It is sometimes a debate, and I like them, and it's just sometimes you just want to listen to stuff, especially when you're listening. Sometimes it's not the radio you want to listen to,
Right.
and I prefer to listen in on somebody that's doing what I'm doing, that's been doing it for a long amount of time, like Luis, and taking his advice and see what I could do with it, to help me out.
Give me an example. What kind of runtime do you usually do? And give me like an example of a topic of something that would, like you said, you'll think of it and you got to go down and like to the lab and start recording. Like what's something that would be an episode, a podcast episode.
Like me, like when was it? I think it was last week. Pittsburgh Picker had put out a video. I don't know if you guys saw it, about his experience at the Goodwill.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, apparently he went in there with his wife, and they were looking at different shirts, and the shirt, it said they were $199. So he thought, cool, I'm gonna go through the shirts really quick. So he was going through the shirts, and he picked out a few. Just kind of fast forward, he said he was in line and whatever, and then when he gave them to the girl, he asked, well, why are these $199 and why are these shirts $599 if they're both t-shirts? What's the difference? And it blew my mind when he said what the actual cashier told him. He said that shirt is $199 because it's a regular men's shirt, and this one is $599 because it's a men's top. You tell me, when have you ever heard that before?
What?
Yeah, exactly. That reaction you guys just made right now, that was my face too. Like, what?
Confused.
I actually had to rewind it back just to hear it again, just to
Yeah.
make sure I heard right. And yeah, he said, the cashier said, this is a men's top. This is why it's $599. So he's all like, he said it was a vintage shirt. So he goes, I took it and I left the rest of the shirts. He said he went out to the car and he was thinking about it. He goes like, wait a minute, this does not make sense. He went back in to talk to the manager, and the manager told him the same thing. Oh yeah, this is a men's top. And he goes, okay, explain to me how you can tell the difference from a regular t-shirt and a men's top. He goes, I've never heard that before. And he says the manager wouldn't really give him an explanation. And he
didn't know.
Yeah, he told him that, you know how they put the little color things on the shirts? He's all, when it has one, it's $199, and if it has two of them, it's $599. He goes, yeah, but your employees put those on. These shirts do not come like that. So
yeah, how do they determine that it's a top? Still,
yeah, you're obviously telling your employees to do this.
Yeah.
So why is this $599 and this is $199? Because this does not make no sense. How is this a men's top? Men do not wear tops. We wear t-shirts. We wear sweaters. We wear button-up shirts.
Yeah.
Men's top. And pretty much didn't give him an explanation. And he just said it's just another way for Goodwill, I guess, to beef up the prices on.
What's on my top right here?
I was like, man, that's just crazy.
The trade-ins. I'll trade you what I'm wearing.
You guys all got nice graphic T-shirts on. I'm wearing. I'm wearing the shirt that I walk my dog in.
It's all good.
I've never heard of men's
shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are wearing nice graphic tops. I apologize.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Debo.
Maybe I should cut it and do it a crop top right here.
Yeah, do that. I will pay for a photo signed for that. You got to be a limited edition, like one of two.
I know,
limited edition crop top.
Yeah, signed.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've never heard of men's tops.
Exactly.
It's either t-shirts, shirts, and then you start getting specifics like button downs, button ups,
exactly.
Convertible.
That's where my episode. That's where I got the idea to speak about that and kind of share my thoughts on it. So.
Women's they go with tops, blouses, and blouses is such a vague, I guess, word for what a top is, because then you get into tunics and. Like, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to women, which is probably why I don't get into too much besides like basic t-shirts or athletic wear where it's just the Nike brands, that makes it easy to look up stuff. Screenshot, but I've never heard that for men's stuff.
Keep an eye out for a video that I got coming soon for a topic. I got scammed on eBay, legit scammed for basically the first time ever. Like,
oh man,
the most in-depth scam I've ever had. And I'm gonna do a video about it. I'm gonna explain what happened to me and then the mistakes I made. I made a couple mistakes because I didn't know I was getting scammed.
Yeah.
So watch for that. It'll be a good topic for your podcast.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll definitely keep an eye out for that.
I speaking of scams, I was on TikTok earlier, and this lady, who's a reseller, she's been doing it for years now, so
Mhm.
she's not a newbie to scams and things like that. But even her through Facebook Marketplace, she ended up getting somebody saying, "Hey, I'll buy this, but my brother's not there. But I'll can I pay you with Cash App?" And the person was like, "Yeah, we could do that. We'll meet up." So she usually goes to like a police station or so a public place, as people
Somewhere
say.
public.
I honestly don't do that at times. Sometimes I'm like, "This is my address," depending on my vibes. But I usually got my cuete in my back, which
Yep.
means my pew pew pew.
Yep.
So with that, this person said that the gentleman was like, "Hey, I sent you the money," and she was like, "I didn't receive nothing." It was like, "Oh, go into your spam mail on Cash App," and somehow she was like, "Oh, I've never had to do that. Out of all these years I've been doing this has never
Yep.
happened." It's like, I see $300. Like, well, you took out the $300. Like it's out of my account. It's in yours. She was like, "No, it's not in my account. I
Mhm.
see the email you're talking to, but I've never seen this before." So this person goes on to say, "Well, like I'll pay another 300, but you got to promise me to pay back the 300 I already sent you." And
Yep.
she was like, "Yeah, go ahead. Like, let me see." So now her wheels are turning. Like, hold on, why am I questioning myself? That's a warning flag. This has
Yep.
never happened. I've been doing this for years. So she looked at the email, and what this person was going to do is send her this false email. Never sent no money. It's just an email that does go to spam because they know the process of it.
Yep.
And they were wanting her to send money that they never sent. So she never sent nothing because they never got nothing. She reported it,
Yep.
but then that account was like deleted moments later. So
I
I
got a
say
question.
that to be careful about what you're doing. And
Yep.
if you've been doing something for a while and something's new, I would say the first thing I would think is this a scam? Even if it's good money, if you're not desperate for it, like, do you really want to force to lose a good item to be ripped off on? Like, go the extra mile and make it harder on that person if they really want it, and you're not annoying or being bullyish. Like, then move forward. But also, don't do things by yourself. I say that as a man. I tend to not like to deal with people on my own when I get bad vibes, but usually I don't deal with them anyways. But I could only imagine female with the male, and there is big difference sometimes. It doesn't mean that they can't defend themselves, but sometimes those extra steps is just to be on the safe side. And if anything, just call it off. Don't mess with it at all. So I am curious to now Jimmy's scam video.
I
And it's
know.
unfortunate because there's rules and policies and stuff like
I've
this
had
that happens.
multiple conversations with eBay already, and I stayed cool with them, even though it's pretty bad. I'll explain it. And I made a mistake. I'm not gonna act like I didn't make a mistake. Um, yeah, but it was
What
like a pretty,
we'll have to stay
the
tuned for
person
that.
that scammed me put in some work. Like they didn't just like they really worked to trick me.
Yep.
And that's the thing, they will work for it
Yep.
And it's
because
something that people have to keep an eye out for, and hopefully, within this information that I'm going to put out there, like I want to save it for the video. With the information I'm going to put out there, like it's something to keep an eye out for because I thought as an experienced seller, I thought I was doing the right things, and man, when I finally got to the bottom of what happened, I was like, what? And yeah. So
That's all
and
she wrote.
I'll go into a decent
stay
amount of
tuned,
detail.
folks. When is that video coming out, Jimmy?
Yep.
I should be next Thursday. It will be next Thursday.
That's
So
it.
I do a video on Thursday and Sunday. Sunday's usually out picking, so I'll save it for a week from today. Is the
Yeah.
chat here? Is anybody or did I break the chat?
Yeah, you broke the chat. It's all right.
I'm gonna test it. Anybody there? Is anybody watching right now?
I see 11 people. Are you seeing 0 or something?
Hey, look, I'm here.
Yep.
All right. I want to make sure. Sometimes I scare people away and I break the chat. That's funny.
We're here.
What's up, Matt?
Matt says we're here.
There's Dan. All right. I just want to make sure.
Everyone's just hanging out.
Yeah, they're just listening, zoning in like scams. What kind of scams?
Yeah.
Eric's still here. What's up, Eric? I love Eric's critter that he has, Wolfman.
Yeah.
Like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I want it. But
Wolfman
he's
Jack,
already said,
right? Don't we call him Wolfman Jack or something?
yeah, he's already said I'm not selling this, guys. And every time I get on it, it's like I get on knowing I'm going to be disappointed that I can't get it. It's just one of those cool characters that you wish you had.
But he's doing a lot of the winter pick, so he's not using that as much, right? Do you do the winter pick, Luis?
He has it down on
No,
the bottom.
yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't done the winner's pick, not yet, but something to keep in mind to do though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like it's pretty. I enjoy those. I enjoy just watching it and seeing how they're doing it and seeing how the bids go.
Yep.
So yeah,
So on all platforms, those in the chat that are resellers, what do y'all resell on? How do you bring in cash flow, and what kind of things do you sell? And that with Luis's prints that he has, it made me open my eyes because I have like these stacks of prints, right? I need to go get them authenticated to know what kind of prints there are.
Yep.
They're kind of big. They're probably like at least some of them are probably about 20 inches, but these things are light. They could be rolled up, but on top of that, I got to buy the funnel, those tunnel barrel roll things. But if they're legit and I can make some money off, then of course I'll invest in that stuff. But that made me open my eyes. Like, okay, there are other things other than t-shirts and hats.
Yep.
You could do prints. I do. Derek just did. This is fundamentals that I'm talking about.
Yep.
Derek fundamentals. He did change his name and should have a video out soon. He said. He was doing plushes and not some small plushes either. Like he had some big plushes to where
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask him, like, can you step back a little bit so I could see the plush because it was taking up the whole screen. And it's just cool. It's interesting what people could, bring up to the table and sell fast.
got some people with some answers on what they're doing. Matt's got looks like he uses OfferUp.
Jack's still on payroll.
He's still on the table.
Matt does eBay, Poshmark, Facebook, OfferUp, and Luis, you do OfferUp, right? I saw
Yes,
that
I
on your
do
thing.
OfferUp. I do actually do OfferUp quite often, especially with the bigger items.
Are they stuff you just do locally, or do you mail as well?
No, some stuff I do ship out because a lot of people still don't know that you could ship stuff out through OfferUp. And but the bigger stuff, I'll usually sell it on OfferUp. And I like to let people know what I do, especially like all my neighbors here where I live. They know what I do, so whenever they have stuff they want to unload, they'll call me up. Hey, come check out some stuff that I want to get rid of before I go dump it in the trash or go donate it. So I'll go. Sometimes they have recliners, refrigerators, stoves, all that stuff. I'll pick them up. I'll list them on OfferUp and usually sell within a day or two. So
Wow.
just get them out.
I need to start using OfferUp then.
Yep.
Do you ever source on there?
I think I've only sourced a few times. I think I sourced the VHS collection and DVDs from there. Sometimes you can find some good deals. You just got to go in and look around. And I mean, there's pretty much a little bit of everything. So there's always, like I said, there's always places for you to source. And that's usually a good place to source sometimes too. When you're just hanging out, have a few minutes to spare, just jump on and just kind of scroll, see what they got.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Jimmy, you do OfferUp?
I was actually talking to Ken about this earlier. I only do eBay, and now that I'm not doing Whatnot, I focus everything on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where everybody can do everybody does everything different, and I feel like if I focus on eBay and only eBay and put all my energy, I get the numbers I need. I get really good numbers because I have. And I don't have trouble sourcing, so I mean I can just spend time adding the stuff that from the death pile all the time.
No, definitely.
I've had my largest OfferUp buy was I had a video on it because I thought it was a scam,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, man, I paid $100 for this helmet, and this person's like, I know you want 600, I'll give you like 350, and I'm like, that's good money, like what if and that's what happens is. What if this is legit? What if it's not a scam, and you chance it, but can you afford to chance it and lose money if it's not legit? So I ended up looking up his reviews, and he had really good reviews. And he replied right away. As soon as it got there, he replied or left a review, and the money went through. And he was like, hey, this is an awesome helmet. Thank you. If there's any more stuff, I'll reach out to you. And I'm just like, man, thank you. Because I believe there are good people in the world. I want to believe that, I don't always want to have that everybody's bad attitude. I don't. I'm a pretty positive dude. But for OfferUp, that was one where it's like, should I open up OfferUp to ship stuff? And I'm like, nah. If somebody really wants it, they'll message me. Or I'll put it on eBay and do it that way.
For sure.
Crispy, I have 8 WWF figures at auction right now that ends Saturday, currently totaling 2,900 between them.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
I've never found vintage wrestlers. I've never found them in the wild.
I mean, I could wrestle and I'm vintage. I'm 41, but I don't think I'll get that much off of anybody.
Oh, man.
Phoenix, Matt is not coming up. It's lagging on my end.
I'm gonna have to look into that. I've never heard of Lord of the Ring Barbies.
Yeah. there's all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
gonna go look
everywhere.
right now because I like learning about toys.
Yeah.
There was Lord of the Rings on TikTok earlier today. I sent Dom, Mr. Mountain Dew himself, a video on TikTok. This lady's like, I'm pulling over on the side of the road. What the hell? And I'm like, yeah, what the hell are you pulling over for if you're already questioning that? Like, please don't get beat up or robbed, or it might be a skunk. And she has this, I think it was the Lord of the Rings chair. I think it was Lord of the Rings or some huge chair, like detailed and all. And it what the sign says for free. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's probably several grand for that chair.
Yeah, those
Nuts.
Lord of the Ring Barbies look pretty good.
I know, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, that they got some value to them.
I feel weird looking at Barbies, and let me know if y'all guys do too. Like, because I usually see them naked, and I'm like, I'm not touching this stuff, man. There's women around. There's like, I just feel weird about it. Like, some of them, I'm like, I look real quick and I put it back. Like, maybe there's something that'll stand out that I could find. But I hate that all the information is really usually right around the butt. It even goes to plushes, so it's like it always feels weird. Like, why am I looking at this
I was
character?
literally going through Monster High dolls earlier today, and like the girl that had them had all the clothes were on the wrong figures. So I was literally changing clothes on dolls earlier. Yep.
Hey,
I've only changed things like on
when you list one of them for $80 with the right clothes on it, it's worth it. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, that is worth it.
Exactly.
I've only exchanged like what is it? Starbucks tops.
Yeah.
Because some of them, like the Starbucks tumblers, were messed up, and I was like, let me see if it fits here. But I'll put that in the description to say this is not the same top. It just happens to fit from another Starbucks tumbler,
Yeah.
that I didn't want to throw away but those things sell too. So I ended up making a couple of monies on it. Beaumont Picker said, I've only been doing eBay. I tried different formats. Doesn't want to cross list due to full-time job. So Luis, do you cross list? Is that how you're able to do so much, or do you do everything individually by their own platform?
No, I do it individually. I'm old school. I do the eBay, I do the Mercari, and I did everything separate. Like, I know if I'm gonna make more profit with video games, with this video game on Mercari, I'll list it on Mercari. If I know I'm gonna make more money selling this magazine on eBay, then I'll list it on eBay. So that's how I do it.
Crispy does Facebook, whatnot, Amazon, and eBay. I've always wanted to get into Amazon, and that's one of the only things my wife has brought up. Like, hey, there's these videos and people doing this Amazon stuff and retail arbitrage. Do you know what that is? And I was like, woman, you asking me? Like, I know what this is. I just haven't done it yet. But Amazon has been the only one my wife has actually brought up, like trying to encourage me to do it.
Yep.
And I'm like, no. Out of all things, you want me to do one thing that you want me to, recent? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go against the grain.
Yep.
What's up, Bobby? What's up, my dude?
What's up?
Matt says, if I feel like it's a scam, I don't even take the time. I just tell them maybe they should check elsewhere. Yeah, I do that too. Or sometimes I don't even reply. And if I get depending on my mood, depending on what the offer was, like I'll just block somebody. I won't even reply. I'll let that offer expire, and that'll be on them. And I've had people come back and say, hey, I'm trying to buy the item now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving you a discount. Like the price you gave me is ridiculous. And not in those words is better terminology. And they'll be like, no, I really want to buy it. I won't give no fuzz, this or that. And I'm just like, man, my optimistic self again. Give me a second. I've only unblocked one person. And he paid for it. I said, if you don't pay for it, I'm going to just remove this item and not even worry about it.
Yep.
Meaning I'm going to block you again and not even worry about it. And they paid for it, and I didn't get nothing. I didn't even get no positive feedback. But at the same time, no feedback is better than negative feedback.
That's true.
You know what you're looking
Sure.
at. Ballman says he doesn't buy Barbies at all. I just feel weird about them. I was
Heard
always
mixed
scolded as a kid, don't play with Barbies. And then you grow up and you're like, don't play with Barbies. Your papa's voice in your head. And you get that good old chancla, those switches in
Oh
the
yeah,
back.
let me switch to a tree, and then he makes you go cut it, break it. I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you leave the leaves on? It gives a little filter.
Yep. The good
Gives
old days.
a little
Dude,
softness.
they are snipers too with that chancla.
Yep.
Not even
Yeah.
playing, man. Throw it
My
from across.
my grandma's chancla was like a
I've
boomerang. It
witnessed
didn't matter
it
where I go.
before.
Oh yeah, mine was too, man. I could be like running like so far away, she'll still get me. And it wasn't just the regular chanclas; it was those heavy leather chanclas from Mexico. It's like,
Like the 3-pound chanclas.
yeah, man. It's like, jeez.
Man, I've seen it firsthand. That thing spins like a perfect
Yep.
frisbee.
It does.
And he comes back to them. Like,
It
how
goes
did
back
you
up. It's like, man,
like, you're in a wheelchair
like
or in a
four.
walker. Like, how'd you get it back so fast?
I know.
Mysteries of old folks. I'll be there one day in time.
That's too funny right there. That's true.
Eric says Buffalo Picker, big strong guy, always picks up Barbies.
Yep.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks like he just walks around putting people to sleep. Just like, come here.
Yep.
People tapping out on the road. Oh, speaking of big guys, one of their friends too, Kevin. Let me see the name on here. I know him, but I can't think of the
Oh, picking in the hood.
Picking in the Hood. Yeah, he's here in Vegas, and he's like, "Hey, let's meet up." But it's all day today. I was dealing with like VA things
Yeah.
with fertility. Like I've been telling people trying to have my own kids.
Yeah.
The VA is saying one thing, and then my fertility clinics, like, we can't hear from you. Like, it's not me. You got to talk to each other. And today somebody figured it out. Like, hey, somewhere along the way, somebody actually stopped your process. And I was like, well, that's weird because I'm still going to appointments and the VA is paying for it. So the pandemic ruined a lot of stuff. And this is when I started going through this stuff. When the pandemic hit and it was hard to get appointments. So the VA lost a lot of employees. So people are trying to do what they can. And some people don't know what they're doing entirely. So it leaves people who are trying to get help, on the short end. But we got it fixed today and hopefully soon, move forward by June. Get pregos, hopefully. Crossing my fingers. Monster High dolls are the worst for changing outfits. The hands and fingers never want to.
Yeah, because their fingers
go
are
in.
like this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Amazon 2 weeks. Eric made it on Amazon for 2 weeks.
You got the boot. You got the boot. I'll say I've said this before. I've probably said it a lot of times. Amazon and retail arbitrage felt like work, like I had a job again. And that's why I didn't like it. I'd rather go hunting for like one-off treasures.
Yep.
Like going and driving to 10 different Walmarts and searching up and down the aisles and with your phone out and scanning. I felt like I had a job again. I was like, man, I feel like I got a full-time job scanning stuff. And then when you're not there, you're at home on the computer. That's my experience again. I understand people make a lot of money doing it, and I'm happy for them. But that's me.
Yep.
What's up, Sal?
Hey, Sal, how you doing, buddy?
Heavy welcomes. One thing about retail arbitrage, the only thing I always feel about it, even when I say it, I'm thinking of it, when I'm looking at it, it's like, once I get this stuff, I need to list it. I'm even so fast to where it's like, okay, if I know I'm really buying this, I'm probably putting it on the floor, taking a picture, using the photo room, blocking it out. I'm listing it right there and then, especially in Nordstrom. Yeah. That's how I feel about retail arbitrage. But then I see Crispy's comment saying that he has Legos and going to be sending it off in Q4. That's towards the end of the year.
Yep.
They'll send a whole bulk load.
And that sounds like experience. Yeah. That sounds like experience of what they're doing. And that's one thing when I would really have to go under somebody's wing and be like, I need help. And Lobster Robert has been one like, hey, if you want to do this, I'll help you out. But I haven't because I'm not comfortable yet to want to dive into that.
It's very competitive.
Oh yeah.
And there are people that will not. They will not give you all the information.
Yeah, but enough to get you started, and you got to figure it out like everybody else. And with space is one where I feel like why I don't go to estate sales and things like that. And I know y'all two do, right, Luis?
I do go to estate sales.
And sometimes I know one of Luis's videos was like a ton of stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be that with that items for like 2 years
Yeah.
with the way I move, you know. And your friend was helping you move stuff. Do you
Yep.
have your own storage, or is everything at home?
No, everything. Well, I think you're talking about that day that we actually cleaned out the thrift store.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually went through a lot of the stuff. He has a big yard in his backyard, and he has an enclosed, like I guess you could say like a carport.
Mm.
And that's where we put all the stuff, and we went through like 7,000 CDs and maybe like 4 or 5 thousand vinyls, and I mean it's just a bunch of stuff. And then from that we still got to go through some clothes and a bunch of shoes. So it's just a process, going through everything, trying to see what you could flip and what stuff's like no good, or if there's any fake items in there. Because being a thrift store, you come across a lot of different stuff. So
Yeah, I went to a thrift store, and I was there for like 2 hours, and I didn't find much stuff. But I see some of the prices are changing.
hmm
Some are good, some aren't good. Like the pants, Levi's, regardless of what it is, still 19.99. I'm like, it's
Even the
missing a
best
leg.
estate sub, even the worst estate supplements here that price high,
yep,
they still miss. All of them
yep,
miss. Every single estate sale company that I know in this Denver metro area, I've been to their estate sale and seen something that they didn't price right, or they didn't
yep,
take all the time to look it up exactly what it's worth. Happens all the time. Now it's nice to go to the one where they do look it up and they still price it, uh, you know, price it low so it'll move. Those are obviously the best sales.
yep,
And you
definitely.
can go to a sale where they have stuff priced high and they'll make mistakes or they'll miss, and you can still do pretty good.
Are there estate sales to where you're like immediately know it's not worth stepping in? Something you see or
I have one company here that is the almost the exception. Like you don't go to the third day there because they literally have everything they looked up at eBay prices. Like I said though, that company though, if it's not on eBay, then they'll miss. Like sometimes they'll look stuff up and they can't find it, right?
Yep.
Like they don't know how to search on eBay well, and so they never found what it's actually worth. So they might price it wrong. Then that's the only way I've ever done good at that company. But yeah, I won't. I usually at now though, because there's enough options out here,
later,
I
Crispy?
won't
Thanks for
go to
coming
them
through.
until the last day because I already know.
Oh yeah, usually the last day of the state sales are good because they just want to get rid of everything, and
Yeah.
they'll start counting prices. They'll give you deals on stuff. So sometimes it's always good to go back because sometimes say there's a particular item someone didn't pick up because of the price. Now
Yep.
you can come in and probably get it for even cheaper than what they had it priced for.
See
So
this plush right here?
yeah,
Sonia found this on the last day at an estate sale. Now, do I think I'm going to get the 1,500 that I have it listed for? I don't
Jeez.
know, maybe, but it's worth at least 7 to 800.
yep,
It's a vintage 1970s Munich, Germany, um, plus the
nice,
mascot for the Olympics in Munich.
wow,
She found that on the last day of an estate sale,
nice.
and I almost gave it to my dog. I'm serious, dude. Watch the podcast; you'll learn more about that story.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just amazing what you could find out about things, like either yourself or following other people, just like that. A plush, you're like, and I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna get like 50, and you're like, no,
I
it's
have it
like,
listed for 1,500 because there's not a lot out there. It's that
mm,
old. It's that rare. It's made by a really
new
good,
with tag.
really collectible company.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one thing I like when it comes to hats, especially like felt hats, because they collect a lot of dust. And
hmm
usually they're on the top because they're nice. You don't want something to crease it on the having a top hat on top of say felt. And usually when I look at it, I'm like, yes. Pretty much, I'm already screaming like a little girl, happy tears, alligator tears inside my own skull. And when I turn it over, I'm like Stetson. I'm looking for the beaver felt or whatever kind of felt it is. And I'm like, how much is this? And they look at it too, like, oh man, I've had that forever. That's old. It's like $2. And I'm like, I'll give you five. Even though I know I'm gonna make way more.
Yep.
Country estate sales are gold.
Yeah, I I see some of the stuff that Eric pulls, and
Yep.
then the van loads and the truck load. Man, I'm like, dude,
Yeah, Aero gets a lot of good stuff though.
So
it's
that's
definitely
number
different than the big city.
that's the number two thing I need to do is first get organized.
Yep.
That's where I'm failing. And second, I need to get a van. The van will help me pull in more stuff. It's like a magnet, I guess.
Exactly.
Man, I don't want to talk about this. It's supposed to snow this weekend here. It's gonna
What?
Saturday's gonna be 39 with snow. I don't
Oh,
get the source this week. I mean, come on, Denver, what's going on?
It's 102 here.
And it was
At least when
it was
an hour ago.
80. It was 82 today, and by Saturday it's gonna be 39.
oh man.
Yeah, it's supposed to start tomorrow, and then so I might not even get to go sourcing at all this week unless I go to state sales or the bins with a rural squirrel.
Oh, she's back over there. Nice.
Yeah. I just this week
She's a traveling person.
my son has some credits to make up, and so he's having to go for 2 weeks for like 2 hours in the middle of the day. So I had to stop what I'm doing every single day and drive him to school, and then an hour and a half later I'm picking him up. So it's like literally my days are stop what you're doing.
You gotta go. Yep.
That's that whole thing we talk about, juggling family and all this. But
Exactly. I do the same
I'll
thing.
be there one day.
Take the kids to school in the morning, come back, do what I gotta do, and then some on Tuesdays the early day, so I gotta stop what I'm doing and gotta go get them, and bring them back home, and then oh Dad, I'm hungry, so I gotta make them lunch and then feed them, and then right when I'm gonna sit down and start taking pictures, Dad, I have an appointment today. Like I gotta look at. We have an actual board that shows who has appointments, what days, dentists or anything. It's like okay, dentist, let's go, and there we go. Throw the kids in the van, let's go to the appointment, and then while we're waiting, I'm doing this, and then they start calling them, and they're all like, Dad, they're calling me. Okay, let's go. Trying to live while I'm waiting. So I try to use up as much time as I can while we're waiting and stuff, just to kind of list or post, anything to sell.
Hi, Nelly. Will I be on the nurse flip? Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna be before that. I'm gonna be with Lizette here. We have a live coming up on Instagram, and then with Kat the nurse flipper. I think hers is 20. Yeah, I think that's the 24th. It's funny because no, that'll be me and Lizette the 24th. I think one of those days. Y'all see us on. Just follow 22nd with her, and then Kat the nurse flipper. I believe the 24th. And Jimmy was on her too. We were talking about that when he was down. Him and Sonia, how they're on it. It's cool. Like it's cool seeing resellers together, and it's cool seeing bigger resellers and even the underdogs, I would say, like me, going to channels like this, because it doesn't matter how much followers you have. If you are genuine, and regardless of what you see, people will reach out to you, ask you to be on, and take advantage of those moments, because you could help people change their lives to getting out of some rumps. And that's what people on YouTube have helped me out on, is getting out of like these huge financial problems, which weren't bad. It's just I had trouble finding a job when I moved here from Las Vegas, from Hawaii to Las Vegas. And then now it's not as hard. You could find jobs anywhere, but the pay is a little different in responsibilities. But I'm glad I'm able to be reselling full time. I do want to make way more money and hopefully one day hire somebody, but also be part of the community, not YouTube, because I'm already part of that and I'm growing in it, but locally. I want to do some positive things, help people share their stories and make a difference, clean up the space.
Yeah.
We need schedules. That's the story. That's the number 3. I need. That's part of being organized. I need a scheduler. Like I have one. It's in my garage, and I'm really not in my garage because it's like 102 right now.
I do not have a schedule.
I have one, but thank you for reminding me, because I'm going to get
my schedule empty.
Big community store tomorrow as well. Bingo game, and you can win prizes. I haven't played bingo in a while. I love bingo.
You better win something, Ken. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right.
What's up, Crystal? Thanks for coming through. Crystal, Rosie's Closet. She was on the Whatnot too. She was in the live chat. She won 2 prizes, 2 giveaways, and people were like, if she wins again, this is rigged. And it was funny. Her and her husband, Angel, who she was selling me, and Instagram she was DMing me saying that Angel's now part of reselling with her too. So that's pretty cool when you could have forces join like that. Could get a lot more done. Tell you the truth. Jim and Luis, grateful. Hey, what's up? What's up, Ray? Ray
Doing
always
well.
has some really cool content. I almost went into tears earlier. If you haven't seen his TikTok, but I think he shared it on Instagram. What the old school to the new school, like, hey kid, he was asking for something. You got to see it yourself. It's
He
a
does
nice.
some he does some good green screen stuff.
Yeah, he does.
I was like, this guy's gonna give me a tear, man.
And he's
Sonny,
gonna be
Jimmy,
like, "I'm not
Luis.
crying. You're crying. It's not crying. You're crying.
It's allergies. I'm in the valley.
You're in the valley.
It's a
It's
dub
allergies.
for you.
Don't look at me."
Look at me, little puppet. You're all incredible humans. Yes. Yes. These gentlemen are incredible. We got Jen's multiverse killing it on whatnot, and also YouTube.
So
Hey, Jen, how you doing?
Yeah, she ended up buying a shirt and bounced out after winning. I was like, oh, she's a busy girl. I was hoping to meet her and AR Edwards out in San Antonio when I went,
Yeah.
but everybody's busy. I wasn't even in San Antonio too much. But Luis, with all that you do, right? You're busy, man. You got stuff always popping up.
Yep.
And Jimmy, you also have a family. What are some things you would tell people that are jumping into reselling and progressing and haven't faced some of the things like, okay, I need to get the funds in? Like in general, what would you recommend people to do that you probably learned the hard way yourself?
Well, yeah, a lot of people, first thing to ask me is, how many thousands of dollars are you making a day? That's the first question I get most of the time. And it's like, okay, what gives you that idea that I'm making $1,000 a day? Well, I'm seeing this reseller on YouTube saying he's making $1 million a week. And then this one, I'm like, okay,
well,
let me stop you in your tracks really quick. Let me bring you back down to reality. Come back down to reality. Reselling is not as easy as some may make it look. It's a lot of work. You got to know what you're doing. You can't just go in blind and just start buying everything without you having any knowledge of what you're going to invest in, because you got to remember, buying is the easy part. Listing, doing the taking pictures and all that stuff, that's all the hard work. And you got to be consistent with buying inventory, and then once you sell it, you got to make sure you pack it, you ship it, you take it to the post office and all that. So everything I just, I always tell them what I just told you right now. This is the from the beginning to the end. This is just for one item. Now imagine you have 13, 14 items you got to ship out in one day. So you got to do that to every single item. You got to list it, take pictures, you sell it, you got to pack it. Okay, boom, you got to take it to the post office. It's a cycle that keeps going and going. You just got to be consistent with it. You don't have to start with a big budget. I tell people you could go to the Dollar Tree and buy stuff from the Dollar Tree to flip. Get that money, reinvest it, buy something else, go to the thrift stores, get a couple of shirts, some toys, do some research on it, sell it, flip it, use some of that profit to reinvest into your reselling, and you got to keep it going. So, I mean, I think a lot of people come into the reselling thinking it's a get rich quick job, which is not. It takes work and dedication. You got to stick to it. It's going to be a struggle in the beginning, but once you get that experience and that exposure to it, then you become more familiar, where you could go into a thrift store and just see something, and off the bat, you already know, okay, this is what this is. Cool. I could sell this. I could flip it, so.
Yeah, I agree totally. Like, it's not a ticket to just sit at home and on your couch and watch YouTube and chat and YouTube all day.
Exactly.
You have to have a work ethic. Mm-hmm. One of the things I've always said that I feel like is important to how to treat it is treat it like if you were opening a brick and mortar store.
Yep.
If you opened a brick and mortar store and only spent 2 to 3 hours there every day, that store would fail miserably.
Yep.
If you open up a reselling store, spend time there every day working.
Exactly.
Like it was a brick and mortar store. Don't just work 2-3 hours and think that you're going to have a successful store.
Yep.
You got to put in some time at your store every single day. And then guess what, kids? That's the fun part. it can make you good money. It
Yep.
can be very successful. But it's not going to be that if, like we said, if you just mail it in.
Yep. Exactly.
Now, when family is involved, right? You're busy and you got your kids going to games and stuff like that. Do you make sacrifices where it's like, hey, I can't go because I got to do this for the household? Or are you like, nope, this comes second, you know? Or is it wishy washy sometimes where it's like, yeah, I can't do this with you because I got to take care of this? Does that change, or is it no, family's always there and there's not that sacrifice? That's not an option.
For me, when it comes to family, if my when I say my son has a baseball game or something, then that's my time I'm spending with my son and my family. So that's where I put my reselling and everything on hold for that hour or hour and a half that he's playing, and get to spend time with him and be with him and share those memories with him, because you got to remember your kids. If you don't make those memories with them, you only get one shot to do this with them, and it's like they'll be 8 years old today, next thing you know they're graduating high school, and you're like, oh man, where did the time go? So my thing is always make sure you spend time with the kids, that you make that time with them, and once you're done with that, then of course you got to get back to the grind, doing what you got to do, even if you got to take another hour just to make up for that time that, yeah, you were with your son or your family. So
Yeah, it's another great thing about it is
yeah.
you can take that time, and then
Mhm.
guess what? After I'm done here with this live with you guys, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna list those Monster High dolls that I was dressing earlier.
Mhm.
It's a weird hour to do it, but guess what? I can sit on the couch,
Yep.
put someone on YouTube on.
Yep.
I'm gonna go put Sonny on to help him get his hours. Yes, I'm gonna do that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put some of his older videos on, make fun of him a little bit, and then no, sorry. But I'm gonna put some of his older videos on. Maybe leave a couple comments, and I'm gonna be
Yep.
listing Monster High dolls
Yep.
at 9:30 at night. Whatever.
Yep.
That's part of what you do, though. That's part of this.
Exactly.
But guess what? Like you said, I was able to go get my son from school earlier today. He's learning how to drive, so I let him drive the car. Stuff like that. I was able to do that whenever I felt like it.
Exactly.
Solid advice. I feel like sometimes, there, I said it before where it's just me and my wife and my fur baby, where I was putting reselling first because I wanted to show her at the same time, like, I could do good at it. And I was. And I stayed consistent to where, like,
Mhm.
I was growing still, even though I surpassed what I wanted to. And when she'd be like, babe, come down and eat, I'm like, I'm doing this. I'll do it later. And, she's like, it's hot, it's warm. She put in the time and effort to cook the meals. She's doing other things to where after a while, I realized, like, that's not the way to go. I need to stop because I'll catch up to it. It's not gonna disappear,
Yep.
but these moments will. If I take advantage of them in a bad way, I need to take advantage of them and be proactive in a good way. So that's when I started. My mind was changing on some things of, like, no, I'm doing it wrong now. I don't need to make those sacrifices anymore. I just need to manage time better. Which from this life, get organized. I need to get a van, and there's a person in the chat who's trying to get a van if they haven't already. Ray and Dustin, they're working on a van, so when they go on their lives, they I would recommend some super chats, or even see if they have their Cash App. If you want to send a couple of bucks, they're trying to get this van for their work, for reselling and traveling. And I told them it would be a good thing for those who are donating to get their name on their vehicle. So if you donated, your name will always be on that vehicle. They could
Yep.
get maybe a wrap or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a cool idea. Doesn't mean they need to do it, but they're like, yeah, let's do that. So
Yeah.
you have your name on forever.
For sure.
I got a question for you guys
Yeah.
because you guys, I would say, are heavier into social media than I am. Maybe not. Maybe we're equal on what we do on YouTube, but you guys are all over everything else like crazy. Talk a little bit about how you met. I mean, thank goodness we have phones because then you wouldn't be able to do it. But how do you man? Because that can affect. That was one of my mistakes early on. Is it affected my selling when
Mhm.
I went full head into social media? How do you guys balance that? Because you can lose a lot of time doing social media stuff, and Nashville Flippers can talk about that too. Like you can spend a lot of time. How do you guys manage that?
Yeah,
Uh,
but like you're saying, Jimmy, yeah, if you gotta make sure you know how much time you're on YouTube or on Instagram, or now that everyone's on Whatnot, you go on Whatnot to source and all that. Like me, I do the auctions on YouTube on Tuesdays, and people always tell me, "Oh, come check out my auction this day." And it's hard to be in 10 different places and 10 different auctions at the same time or in the
Yeah,
same day, where you could just go in and say hello really quick, how you doing, just coming in and say hi, hope you guys have a good auction, and kind of keep moving. It's not because I don't want to be there, it's just you got to understand there's so many people that I support that I want to be there to say hello to
mm-hmm.
everyone. But you also got to make sure you give yourself that time where you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to take maybe 20 minutes while I'm listing and listening, if go and jump in and say hi, and then just keep moving, because next thing you know, it's 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours and you're
no.
still on YouTube and you're looking at your debt pile. You're like, oh man, I have not listened one
Nothing
thing.
moved.
How
Kind
many
of grew.
days?
6 hours gone already.
There's so many days where I'm like, man, I didn't even do anything reseller related today. I
Yep.
mean, between YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, and I didn't even look at my
Yeah.
store.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
really time consuming too.
with with social media, my computer has been lagging with my video editing software. It's getting older. I need to somehow clean it, besides just deleting files. But that seems to be one of my biggest time consumers right now. It's like I'm already started on this video. I need to get started, but it's taking me like a day or a week, which is why I haven't had a new video out. It's easy to go live stream, but that's kind of one of my headaches right now. And when I do edit stuff, like say my Instagram stories, you see they kind of have a little bit more flair to them, and it's
Yeah,
actually not taking me long. At first, I would have to open up my Adobe programs, and that will take a long time. But on
right.
Canva, it's a lot easier. You just type in Instagram stories or even TikTok stories, and it puts a
Well, you can do that on
like a
Canva.
layout. You could put a layout, and they could have some that are already pre-made, and you could just swap stuff out. But it's good for an idea, like, oh, that's cool. Let me play this. Let me see what that looks like. You
Yep.
could change the font, you could change the color, and you could end up having something entirely different. It's just like when we make our plans, what we're gonna do for today, and then once you get started, it ends up being entirely different order than what you wanted. But it's very, very easy, and I use
Yep.
Photo Room for, I don't know who has it or not in the live chat, but I use it to block out the photos for say eBay and items like that. Let me see on here, see if you
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
it.
Photo room. Yeah,
Let me see. It's
Pivo, right?
tricky with the camera, but that right there. So I use that to block out, say, photos, and I'll throw it up in Canva, and then you could make it pop up in and out. You could look at the effects. You could
Yeah,
animate things. Every little thing you put on there, you could animate. Some things have a longer time frame, some have a shorter, but sometimes longer isn't better. Sometimes shorter is just quick to the point. They got the information, run with it. And that with timing, trying to manage social media and putting stuff out, like you could add a little bit more flair and less time than using other programs. So I do my best to do stuff like that, but I do want to get a green screen and work on some things for my YouTube videos and maybe even some other stuff, but I'm not trying to do something that's going to take up too much time. And when it comes to actually listing items, I know my wife's schedule for the most part. Sometimes it changes. Sometimes they'll let her go home for the day and everything stops. But usually around midnight, I'm probably already crashing out. But like say after this video, she's already at work. She got there at 7:30,
Mm-hmm.
a few minutes ago, my time, and I go to my living room. I have all the clothes I'm going to list. I have a notepad. I'm writing everything down because it's a little bit dark right now. I'd rather have natural light to where, bless you, I rather have natural
thanks.
lighting. So in the morning, I'll just take photos and plug it in. But other times I take the photos and do it. But it's just because of what I had going on today, I wasn't able to do it in that order. But at least I know once I wake up in the morning, easy, take some photos, finish up the listing on eBay, and then move on. And then also, I do want to backtrack to Canva. I use those videos, say on Instagram stories, for my whatnot videos that I'm promoting just to show something. But you could just have a straight up photo. Some people have
Right.
nothing on their photo, it just has their title.
Yep.
But I feel like if there's something to see a little bit more, they might be a little bit more interested because
Mm-hmm.
it's still a platform you want to teach people, hey, you have to go in my store to see what I have, and you can start pre-bidding. These little things make a big difference. And timing's all about everything, learning what works, learning what doesn't. How can I be informative? How can I get my name out there? How can I promote Lewis? Luis being on the live tonight. Like I'm trying to figure out more ways rather than here's Instagram. Here's my Facebook. I'm sharing it there. Like, what else can I do to help promote somebody else,
Yeah.
especially when they come on my this channel is not for me. I look at other people that I want to promote. Even though Jimmy's on here all the time, I want him to be where like people are like, if they're new, they're going to go check out Jimmy. Like this guy's cool as hell. I want to check him out. I want to check out Luis and everybody else that's in here. That's how I see social media and my time and what I'm trying to do with it, most of all.
Yeah, I was told by my son that because I found the story button where you can just record yourself and talk. My son said, "Dad, you're not supposed to. No, just stop." Because I was making a bunch of videos of me just like, "Hey, that's what I'm doing right now." And he was like, "What are you doing? You're embarrassing me, Dad."
But people are nosy though. People want to know what you're doing,
Yep.
Like when
I'm a
TikTok
guy.
started coming out, the whole thing of, hey, can I see what's in your fridge? And people would want you to share what's in your fridge, and you open it up like, man, that's what you got. Like, people judge you, but people always judge you no matter what. So
Yeah,
Tupac.
TikTok, definitely.
Jinx. But with the mindset of family first, that is very, very important. What's up, FleaCon? Got Charlie up in the house, busy man out in California too.
Hey, Fleet, how
Um,
you
I would,
doing?
I would say with your packaging, Luis, do you buy everything or get everything your shipping supplies? And Jimmy, do you buy it from or get it from eBay for free, or do you repurpose boxes? Do you buy or hunt for free items?
Oh, yes.
All of the above.
All of the above for me too.
I mean, but I definitely buy stuff for first class. I feel like my rule on shipping is I don't want to spend a lot of time shipping. A lot of people I've seen people that have said time is money, and then I've seen them take 45 minutes to package one item because they don't have the right box or whatever.
Exactly.
I keep the right boxes for, like, I keep a VCR box or I keep a box perfect size for that.
That VCR that I got, you and Sonia,
Yeah.
it just sold the other day. So the
Oh, nice.
VHS it did not work. But although I bought it for $20, the story about this. The person messaged me. I had it for 150, right? I know they could go for 100. The guy said, "I'll give you 100." I was like, "All right, I'll drop." He bought it, right? He bought it at 150, and then he messaged me saying, "Oh, looking at it now, they go for 100. I'll buy it for 100." And I was like, "All right, I'll cancel it. If you want to buy it for 100." And then after I do that, he's like, "Well, I'll get it for 90." And I'm like, "No." Right. So then another person comes along. He's like, "Hey, I see I have it at 90. Can I get it for 80?" And I'm like, "Hey, I already changed the price. I know it could sell for 100. I could raise the price."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
cha-ching, cha-ching, he bought it. He bought it for the 90 or whatever. So it sold pretty fast. It took me a few weeks to list.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Like I knew I should have listed it faster, but I didn't have a VHS, and I need to keep more of that stuff around because I've been getting more into electronics. And rather than letting it sit there, I have DVDs, didn't have a VHS. I had to wait, a few days to have time to go find a VHS. So now, like, the wheels are turning. Save this stuff. Have some stuff on the side makes it easier to process.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You always got to have all that stuff in all the time. Like Jimmy says, you got to have the boxes. Because like there you have stuff you already know, okay, I got that box here. Boom, let's pack it. Let's bubble wrap it. Boom, tape it up. And all right, let's go to the next one. Me, I always have bubble wrap. I always get bubble wrap deliveries every week. People say, why so much bubble wrap? Because I use a lot of bubble wrap.
Mm.
I always say in my auctions, do the free shipping and the bubble wrap is free of charge. People say I use like 2 or 3 pounds of bubble wrap. I just use a lot of bubble wrap because I like to ship stuff out the way I like to receive them. That's just my thing.
Yeah, that I've been seeing that, Jens, also on TikTok. People have been saying how horror VHS they're flying. Ooh, Halloween.
It's Halloween, yeah.
Movies aren't like they used to be. Now it's too graphic, too animated.
Anybody to buy it? I got it listed for like $500. Wow.
Yeah, income tax already come around, or it's coming up. Some people it's coming up, so it might come up soon. Later, Ken. Good night. Thanks for coming by.
All right, Ken. Even though you didn't come here to see me, that's all right.
You saw that? Got to be first sales tomorrow. Yeah, I see it. It is tomorrow I'm going to be babysitting in the whole weekend. A little of my wife's cousin's Frenchie. So I don't know if I'll be able to have some time because my wife's going to say you volunteered. I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't know if I want to take that dog with me. It's like a $5,000 dog.
Oh man.
Might
It's a
scare me.
VHS, Ken. I sleep with the VHS.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gents, call it a night because I do got to get some stuff listing.
All right.
Make sure to follow Luis and Jimmy. All of their information, well, all of Luis's information is in the description. Make sure to check them out. Check out Jimmy as well, and stay tuned for more. You got any questions? You know how to hit us up. Get on the social media platforms. They are
Yep.
free to use. Be smarter than your smartphone because it can only do so much. But if you're not making it worth it, then it's not going to do much either.
Exactly.
Any advice, guys, y'all want to give to the chat?
No, just thanks for hanging out, everyone. We appreciate it. The chat makes the show that much more fun. So we
Very
appreciate
much
you
so.
guys talking with us and giving us stuff to talk about and asking us questions. So keep it up. Appreciate it.
No, definitely. Just want to thank Sonny and Jimmy for having me on tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat for hanging with us too. And like I
Oh,
said,
before we go, I do want y'all to cover your auctions and your shows of when y'all do it, so that way they get an idea. Even though some may know, some may not.
okay. Oh, I do my live auctions on YouTube every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, and on Whatnot, I usually go on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays in the morning at 8:30 a.m. I'm actually having a VHS auction tomorrow morning, so definitely I'll be on tomorrow. So definitely, if you guys aren't following me on Whatnot,
Oh,
check me out. Yeah, thanks, Ken. Ken dropped my link earlier for my Whatnot. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach me on Instagram, Twitter, pretty much on all social media platforms. Definitely, we'll get back to you as soon as I can because I do get a lot of messages on a daily basis. So thank you
yeah.
guys for hanging with us.
I don't have any auctions going on or anything, but on my channel, I'll be putting videos out every Thursday and Sunday. Um, Ken just dropped the link to the Reseller Clickbait podcast. That'll be coming out every Monday now in the morning. I believe it's 11 o'clock Eastern. And then every Tuesday, I'm hanging out with Eric over on OBX Flips, and Thursday nights, I'm here with Sonny.
Yeah, with Arab on OBS Flips, if you're not following it or get up that early, it still runs through like lunchtime for my time. It's probably
Yeah.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
They just hang out. Like they really are just working.
Yep.
You see some of the guys pop in and out because they may jump on Whatnot, and then they'll come back in and they're
Yeah.
laughing at them because they're watching them too as they're working, and you're working. And sometimes it's just really nice to have
Yeah.
like just that
It's
familiar
like having
voices.
coworkers. Yep.
Yeah, familiar voices as you're working, and it's not so much of you have to be here listening, like say a live show. It's
No.
live, but it's not one of those live shows. It's very I like it.
And
I listen in. I'm
it's-
lurking half the time.
It's
Yep.
must see YouTube when Tim goes to 7-Eleven or the post office. When he gets in the car and starts driving, you have to see it. Like he's little road rage, little talking to himself.
I wouldn't call it a little, but you got to witness it yourself, folks. Thanks for coming through. Stay tuned for these guys. Always have more content coming out, and I am working on some videos to help get my get monetized, like I said. But until I figure out my computer or get a new one, I'm always working on something. Have a great weekend. Happy pickings, and see y'all next week. Jen's a lot of road rage.